Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Power Plant in a Nutshell. Today I would be discussing about a topic called compressed air system. I have chosen the topic compressed air system because few days back one of my students called me up and asked me whether I have some notes related to compressed air system. At that moment of time I gave him the notes and also promised him that in a short span of time I will be making a video which will help him understand more better about the compressed air system. So let's begin with. So in this compressed air system series, I would be making 4 videos. In the first video, I would be covering what is inside the compressor house and the general PNID of the compressors. In the second video, I would be discussing about the types of compressors like centrifugal compressors, reciprocating compressors, and the screw compressors, which are the nowadays which are normally used in a power plant system. And in the third video, I would be talking about the types of dryers, and in the fourth video I would be covering on the energy specs points of compressed air system. So let's begin with. So the basic question which comes to everybody mind is that what is the requirement of compressed air in a power plant? The compressed air fulfill a very important purpose in a power plant. Basically the compressed air is used to operate the valves in the form of an instrument air. Then as a plant air it is used for cleaning purposes, and in some cases the compressed air is also finding its use as an air curtain, means to separate one layer from the another layer. Now why do we need instrument air valves in a power plant? The instrument air valves in a power plant serves three purposes. First of all, they are fast. Second, they are precise. Third, the with instrument air valves we can put a fail-safe mechanism in place, means in the absence of air, if I want to, in the absence of air or in the absence of electric motor supply, then if I want a certain fail-safe condition to be placed, then with these kind of valves I can put a fail-safe condition in place also. Now what is the difference between the instrument air and the plant air? The very basic difference between the instrument air and the plant air is that the instrument air is highly pure air. Its dew point is almost close to minus 40 degrees Celsius, means the moisture content in the air is very less. Whereas with the plant air is just a compressed air with no consideration of what is the dew point or what would be the dew point is there, and we never notice that thing what would be the dew point of a plant air. It's just a compressed air, a simple compressed air. But when a simple compressed air is getting dried in a dryer, then that point of time it becomes a instrument air. So the next question which comes to everybody's mind is that what do we find inside the compressor house? In a compressor house what we normally find is a compressors, air dryers, cooling water pumps, latent heat exchangers, auxiliary cooling water pump, cooling tower, and makeup system. So let's discuss each of the individual identities one by one. Compressors basically would be of two types mainly if I categorize plant air and instrument air, and these compressors can be further subcategorized as centrifugal compressors, reciprocating compressors, or screw compressors. In my next video I would be discussing about these compressors only. Then you will find about the dryers. Again, dryer would be of different types or different design. Nowadays we have rotating type dryers also. Earlier we have blower type dryers also. So there would be a different design for the dryers. This would be, again I'm making a video on that. Now comes to the cooling water pumps. The cooling water pumps are basically pumps which supply the water into the compressors for cooling of air. Now why this cooling of air is required, that I will discuss later on this video. And then the next thing is PHEs. PHEs are plate heat exchangers. The PHE serves as a purpose of heat exchange between the cooling water and the auxiliary cooling water. The cooling water which have gained the heat or the temperature from the compressed air diverts this heat to the auxiliary cooling water, These auxiliary cooling water, once when gain the heat, goes to the cooling tower and through the mechanism of a evaporative cooling gives this heat to the atmosphere. In turn, if any loss of water is there, that is recovered from the makeup water system. So this all is included in the compressor house. So let's discuss about the general lineup of a compressor. The general lineup of a compressor remains same irrespective of type of compressor, whether it's a centrifugal compressor or a reciprocating one or a screw one. So in the next slide, I would be showing you a general PNID of a single stage compressor. So this is a simple PNID of a single stage compressor. In this, the suction is taken from the air through a filter in order to avoid entry of any dust particles. Then there is a suction valve. The suction valve will regulate the amount of air which needs to be entered into a compressor. Normally, they are either full open or full closed type. Once this air enter into the compressor, it is being compressed to a required pressure, and then in an after cooler, this air is cooled down and sent to a receiver. If I draw the air from this point only, then this would be called a plant air. And if I use this air further down the line and send it to a dryer as shown in this picture, then the output of a dryer would be called a instrument air. Uh, so this is a PV diagram of any compressed air system. This PV diagram can be used for a single stage compressors also and for a multi-stage compressors also. Now, if I have a single stage compressor, then I would and my required output of air which is desired is at pressure P3, then the total work done which I have to spend on the compressor to get the desired output of P3 is P1, 1, 3 dash and P3. This area under the curve will represent me the total work done for which is needed for by me to get the output of air at pressure P3. Now, let's assume it's a multi-stage compressor. If it's a multi-stage compressor, the air will enter into the LP compressor at point 1. This air is getting pressurized in LP compressor, or I would say first stage compressor, and reaches the point 2 dash. At the point 2 dash, I've allowed this compressed air to pass through an intercooler where its temperature will get reduced to 2. At 2, again this air will enter into the HP compressor or the second stage compressor, I would say, and this air is compressed and it will reach to the point 3. Now this is my final output which it would be at the point 3. The total work done which I have saved while going for multi-stage compressor is about 2 2-3-3. So with the help of a multi-stage compressors, I am able to save the work of 2 2-3 or 3 because of the intercooling. So that's why in most of the power plant normally we find the multi-stage compressors are being used instead of single stage compressors because of the effect of intercooling which helps us in reducing the total amount of work done. In the next slide, I would be discussing a general PNID of a two-stage compressors. So it's a detailed compressor PNID of a two-stage compressor. In this again the air enters into the compressor through a filter in order to separate the dust particle. In the path there is a solenoid valve which is either a full open or full closed type, and if the purpose of solenoid valve is to regulate the flow in case the compressor is running in unloaded condition, so that a minimum flow should be always established through compressor so that the compressors never get overheated. Once the this air from the solenoid valve enters into the first stage compressor or the LP compressor, which I would say, the output of the LP compressor would go to the intercooler. The intercooler output will go to the second stage compressor or the HP condenser. After that, this output will go for to the aftercooler. This aftercooler is required because normally the temperature which is required for operating valves of a instrument air or any system is at the temperature of 45 degrees Celsius, and generally the output of a second stage compressor is at 180 degrees Celsius. So in order to bring back the temperature of air to the temperature of 45 degrees Celsius, the aftercooler is required. Before the aftercooler, there is a connection of a regeneration air. This This regeneration air is required basically in case of an instrument air compressor, where we have to dry the compressed air in order to remove its moisture. So the output of a aftercooler in case of an instrument air compressor will go to a dryer, and there it is mixed with the regenerated air, and with the help of a silica desiccant this air is dried, and the output of a dryer, which is the instrument air having a dew point of close to minus 40 degrees Celsius, is sent to the cooler again to reduce its temperature, and finally to the receiver tank. From the receiver tank, the air will go to the different places as required in the plant system. So this would be a detailed compressor PNID. I hope you have understood this thing. In my next video, I would be covering on the second aspects about the types of compressors, that is centrifugal compressors, reciprocating compressors, and the screw compressors. So till then, good night, take care, and have a sweet dreams. And if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and please click on a like button. Thank you.